Hello, World of Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. Hey, update 6.4. What we've all been waiting for, the Halloween event. If there's anything Wargaming does really well, it is this Halloween event. So let's take a quick look at this update 6.4 and see what changes are in stock. You can see here we've got a scary rendition of Alpinestad. We'll take a quick look at that map here in a second, but obviously it's going to be a nighttime map with lots of pumpkins and ghoulish looking creatures. We've got camouflage updates. I know a lot of you guys probably spend money on camo. Not really for me, but you've got pumpkin spice, spider trap, scary swarm, two more that don't have pictures of, pumpkin mayhem and spooky web. For those that like attachment, they've added a bicycle to the back of the WZ tier 10 TD. That's a little interesting. One of the things that I do think probably people will be spending a little bit of gold on are these wings of knights, having bats fly around your turret. That is pretty cool if you ask me. Some other vehicle changes to make them a little bit more competitive. Most of these are in the lower tier, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them. The one I do want to talk about here is the T1 Heavy. Got some serious armor upgrades. Look at this, 83 to 127, 70 to 127. Even the sides got buffed. All over this tank now. If you can play this just a little bit hull down, hide that lower glacis plate, which actually took a little decrease in armor there from 90 to 75 millimeters. This is a strong tank. I've got a mastery game coming up to show you just how strong this tank is. VK31OH. And then also the M6, which is obviously the big brother of the T1, got some additional armor as well. Note, the VK1602 Leopard used to be a really fun tank before obviously all of the nerfing at these lower tiers, but they've upgraded the shells in the magazine from 9 to 12. So that's going to be a little fun tank that we can bring out and talk about here in a little bit. So let's jump into Alpinestad. All right, guys, here we are. They've renamed Alpinestad Horrorstad. And looks like, they've got quite a few pumpkins and these neon green mushrooms. Not a whole lot other than it's going to be a little bit darker. You've got a scarecrow up here. Most of these are all able to shoot them if you've got a tank with decent accuracy. You can run over them. You can squish these pumpkins, squish these mushrooms. Let's try another shot here at this pumpkin head. There we go. You can shoot them. While we're here and we've got a long distance, let's take a look at these new trails. See if we can see anything. Yeah, see the smoke or whatever you want to call it from those shots does seem to stay on the screen a little bit longer. They kind of make a little bit more of a wavy line, probably a little bit more of a realistic effect. But you can see in town, a lot of the buildings have lights on. Pumpkins are destructible. So yeah, I really haven't spent a lot more time on this map searching to see if they've hidden anything else anywhere. But it just looks like a dirtier, darker version of Alpinestad. So this year's event's starting October 18, and it's going to be multi-stage, and you can get several tanks out of it, similar to the Year 5 event that they just recently did. And one of the things that I do think is very interesting, they're bringing back the derp gun on the Stug 3. And yeah, this is going to be at level 9. So I would imagine most everyone that plays on a daily basis will easily get to this tank here. So it does look pretty fun. And then at level 45 is the Fierce Lycan. And again, this looks to be a little bit more of a heavy tank with some sharp lines there. And if you get all the way to level 60, you get this premium camo for it. So there's going to be containers at levels 15, 20, 30, 40, and 50, as you can see there, for the chance for the Helsing or the Dracula. And I'm assuming they come with the legendary war paints that you see there. So I have the Helsing on my main account, and it's a great tank. And the Dracula is one of my favorite tanks of all time. So I'm hoping to get that back on my main account. So you'll see me online a good bit, grinding out battles to get up the levels. And look at all this loot. This is going to be fun. So good luck out there, guys, and we're going to jump into this T1 Mastery game. So after seeing the update and the improvements they made to the T1, I decided to make this the first game that I played after the update 6.4. And I'll get this out of the way straight up. T1 is one of my favorite tanks before this update. Over 400 battles in this game with a 75% win rate. This is really just a bully of a tank. It's got good mobility, and it's a great ramming tank. And the armor before I thought was pretty good, but now if you look at this snapshot here from Littlefinger, you see all of this red. And part of the reason I wanted to show you this video is because we do come up against another T1. So we're going to slow it down here as we zoom in, and I want you to see, look at how deep that red is, except for that lower glacial plate. Yeah, so, you know, throw in the fact that this tank has the mobility. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression. So getting this thing in a position where you can get hull down, it's actually fairly easy. We're over angled there, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that's a tier 4 tank penning the side, so keep that angle as steep as possible. And then also, because this is a heavy tank, it's difficult to get accurate shots in at distance. So be patient with your aiming time here. And you know, I'm rushing this a good bit, and so we've missed a couple shots already. But you know, it's one of these games where you can, especially on a map like Copperfield here, we can get to the front and we can just keep these tanks at bay. No one's gonna push us unless it's a concerted effort from the whole team, and you don't get that in pub matches. So that shot goes a little low into the tracks, don't do any damage. And you know, we're just holding this, and every time I zoom out, I want you to notice I take my shot, I zoom out, and I'm just keeping an eye to my left. So we see the Genie coming through here, put one shot into him, and here comes the rush, reloading, get a shot into the side of the T1. So you can see there's no problem whatsoever shooting the side. And now just look at all that red, but that lower plate is certainly penetrable. So right now we're just trying to get shots in and back down to safety, and you'll see our team just really starts to dwindle quick here. So it was interesting, they kind of pulled back, take a shot from the T1, and this AT is turning around. Now, my thought on any battle against an AT is try to avoid it and leave it to the last. You know, it's such an overpowered tank by any other tank in the game that just let its speed be its downfall. You can see here we were 5-on-2, now 4-on-2, and we set a fire in the back of the T1. He's out of repair kits, so am I, as you can see, and we finish him off. So 3 kills, well over 1,700 damage because we don't have that fire included. And we know this AT's around here somewhere, and so, you know, we can just pop those into the hatch and back up, and this tank is pretty much helpless because of its lack of mobility. So APCR into the hatch, we make sure we get that in, and we're doing a good job keeping our lower plate hidden here. I'm tracked and can't get down, but not sure why I took that shot, to be honest. But my thought process here is just stay alive and let that Lago get in here and help me out. So I'm thinking, all right, there's one shot. It should be no problem. If I can get one more shot, figure he's coming around the corner, but he goes around the second hill. I wasn't expecting that. We aim the shot in there, and I guess it hits into that spaced armor on the turret, and no damage. Lago's going to come in here and finish this off. So yeah, 2,077 damage, 4 kills in our first game back in the T1. So if you want a tank that you can bully, especially when you're top tier, this and obviously the KV-1 are always going to be near and dear to my heart. 500 battles in a tank is a lot for me. I don't have very many tanks with that many battles in them. And I'll be honest, I played those to get my win rate up. So, yeah, fun tank, fun battle. I'm looking forward to the Halloween event. Hope you guys are too. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. Have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.